Check. 1 2 1 2. Vatorgames in the building. This is Vatorgames TV. This is CIA. I know it's not the background yet. I will bring the CIA background, but this is Vatorgames TV. What you see on the screen is my current subscribers. Thank you, each and every one of you, all 1,089 of you. Thank you. Thank you for that. That QR code allows you to, if you're on a laptop, you're watching on the TV, just put the phone up. It'll bring you right to the channel. Subscribe, do the damn thing. If you want, share that QR code to your peeps. Listen. Week 11. We got to discuss this. Week 11 in the mix. All right, let me get my background straight. Let's go. I'm going to take that off screen too. Let's go. Actually, I didn't even do that properly. We got to do that proper. Let's go. Again, QR code, subscribe. Let me see the numbers. Go up. But this is CIA. Citeh Intelligent Agendas. Citeh Intelligent Agendas. Game week 11. We got the agenda targets. All the targets are lined up. Like you know how phone likes to line them up? All the targets are lined up. We're going to be discussing them. I'm going to have an amazing show tonight. I got to make sure everything that I sent out works. I've been running around for you to know. Out here in Toronto, it's snowing. It's already snowing, like continuous snow. Madness. So annoying, but all is good. I had to delay the show. I wanted the show to actually kick off at 10:15 UK time, 5:15 my time, but I had to push it back. I'm so glad I see each and every one of you in the chat. This show's gonna be crazy. This show's gonna be crazy. Now, listen. First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. I'm your humble host. I'm Vatorgames. This is Vatorgames TV. We got a few shows on this channel, right? We got Why Always Me, which I hope all of you know about. We've got 115, one question, 15 minutes that I hope all of you know about. And then we got, I can't lie, I'm proud of this one. I'm proud of all of them, but I'm proud of this one. CIA. Listen, we're gonna get into it. What a weekend. What a weekend. Let me shout out, because I do this every show, the very first in the building, to show some love with the comment being a part of the show, and hope each and every one of you hit the like button. We got Dre P in the building. A message was sent with that performance. Liverpool were humbled, and rightfully so. If their managers want to whine about City's squad depth, that's fine. City will give them something to whine about. Listen, I don't like whiners. I lie. Carnival, whining's okay. That's the only time being a whiner is acceptable, but I don't like whiners. Listen, this squad depth, this cannot compete talk. Listen, everyone can. Don't look at others. Don't look everywhere else. You got to look internally. You got to look at your club. People in the building. Act in the building. You know what it is. City tearing Scousers. Tearing them up again. Doing it again. I'm hype. This game was important. The performance is why I'm hyped up. What I saw from these players is why I'm hyped up. Let me make sure my whole thing's set up properly. All right, cool. Now, I see Ack in the building. Godfrey in the building. Big up, Vader. Hope you're good. Am I good? I'm good for this entire international break. I'm not even going to think about the negatives. I'm not even going to think about what sometimes happens during international breaks. I'm not letting my mind go there. I'm just focusing on today, on this Sunday. Yeah, I'm good. Now, Godfrey, are you good? Does this result have you looking, right? You looking around the Prem? Or in this case, you got to look behind, or you got to look down, all right, because you're top of the league. Does that have you good? Are you good? I got to ask you the question. Are you good? Leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate that, man. Good looking out, Godfrey. Good looking out. Listen. Dun-it, 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 dun-it. Listen, the Sharks. There's no blood in the water from Arsenal. There's no blood in the water from Arsenal. But what the Sharks did do, the Sharks did see some blood. There was some blood from Liverpool, a different kind of red. A different kind of red was in the water. And the Blue Sharks took full advantage. Now, don't let me get too gassed right now. It's early in the show. We got to have the convo. But love to each and every one of you. Now, I'm also going to say this, and I see you guys in the comments, and I'm going to start this. Just as an FYI. Okay? And it's not a secret. Or I shouldn't say secret, but it's not massively public. Okay? Actually, let me do this. Let me remind you guys. I'm not sure if many of you had tuned in to the Football Terrace post game with regards to the reactions and stuff like that. You may have seen me, and this is the background that I had. This is actually the link, and I don't think I had my subscriber numbers up, but I had to say that, and I let them know. Particularly, I let KJ, who sends out the invites. I let him know that was going to be my last Football Terrace match reaction. That's my last match reaction as of now, because I'm going to focus on the channel. The support, the direct comments from several of you being like, Vader, you got to be consistent. Like you're giving us some good stuff, and then I know life gets in the way, and actually life getting in the way. I got something that I got to address real quick. I'm gonna. Apologies for that. But I let the organizers know that it's going to be my last Football Terrace match reaction. I'm going to focus on the channel. I'm going to do my best to get my numbers up. I'm going to give you the content that many have said on the side. Vader, you need to do this more. You need to do this more. And again, I think it's going to be time better spent. Maybe, you know what? I'll give myself a target. We'll see what happens on the back end with regards to conversations, but my target goal is 5K. Let me get my channel up to 5K. We get that 5K movement. We'll address different things, but yeah, you won't be seeing Vatorgames on the Football Terrace with regards to match reactions moving forward. Let me say this, Dre P in the building. Like I said before, Arsenal have plenty of emotional fans. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Godfrey, you know that. Godfrey, you know there's a lot. Not you. Okay, relax, not you. And I see I got an agent backstage that I'm going to bring forward, but not you, Dre P. I mean, Dre P's not talking about you in particular, Godfrey. Okay, but you know your fan base. You got mad emotional fans. Look at AFTV. Arsenal Fan TV was built. It was built off of that emotion, right? But Liverpool fans has a lot of obnoxious fans who need to be humbled. Now you're talking, Dre. Now you're talking. It's not easy to spend money. Oh, it's not easy to spend money. Listen, Klopp was aware that he didn't want that pressure. I think he was aware that he didn't want the best bought. Like, he didn't want the spend big. Are we to believe that FSG couldn't have done this sooner? Are we to believe that? No, I think there's a philosophy from the manager that spilled onto the club, and he didn't want that heat. Klopp did not want that heat. Listen, it's a show. It is a show right now. My gal Rose is in the building. She goes, hey, Vader, City was so amazing today. I think we are peaking at the right time. Rose, I got to tell you, I don't even think we're peaking yet. Rose, we're not peaking yet. Look at their games. Again, we played well, but even with even with regards to the games, Gavardiol. And you know what? Before I get into this combo, before I get into the peak combo, and again, we will be presenting the agendas for the week, right? We will be presenting the agendas, but what we also do, and I'm gonna bring this agent to the stage, is what we also do is we assess. We're gonna bring up the EPL standings. We're gonna assess. We're gonna see who really requires our attention. Which clubs require Manchester City, CIA's attention, and who do we have to kind of plant seeds with? Who do we have to kind of plant doubt with, right? Who do we have to actually apply some pressure with? So first things first, the agent that I got to bring to the stage needs a proper intro. No doubt needs a proper intro. Here we go. Actually, I got to take this comment off screen. Let me do this first. Let me be clean with it. My gal Rose. And then we got Agent Conway in the building. What you doing, Conway?
Yo, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. Thanks for having me on, man. What's going on?
Yo, what's going on? He says, what is going on? Listen, I had to delay the show, unfortunately, due to some weather, traveling and stuff. But what's going on is seeing our club play our football. Man. First, I'm gonna ask you. How were you able to enjoy the game today? How did you enjoy the game? Where were you? Give us a little bit of background.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I didn't have any issue with you delaying the stream. I was actually outside when you dropped me that message about the stream was gonna start a bit late. I was outside, man. I was watching it with a couple of my friends. One of them was a Liverpool fan, so I had the opportunity to stick in his face. I'm saying, like. So it was a good. We was at we was at a lounge. Obviously, chilling. I watched the game with other people that were there as well. I mean, it was a good atmosphere, man. That sort of game, you gotta be outside, man. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't just watch it at my house by myself. So, you know what I'm saying? I had the opportunity to enjoy it with my friends and other people.
I love it. Now, I gotta bring another agent into the mix. This agent's actually doing their debut. And before I should say that maybe it's an agent in training right now. It's not official. And again, it's not official because I don't have the intro available for him. But I want y'all to know a couple more shows like this. He's gonna go from recruit to official. Spartacus in the building. What you doing, Spartacus? What you saying?
Not bad. How about you?
I'm not bad at all. Listen,
This is Paulo's first time on the channel.
Yeah, man.
Paulo, man, what you're giving other channels too much of your own time. You don't want to jump on here,
yeah? First time I've been invited, isn't it?
The timing's worked out. Yeah, listen, I was so fortunate to get the okay when I sent Spartacus the message, and I'm gonna make sure again. Let's all be nice in the comments. Let's show Spartacus the CIA love, and he'll have a proper intro next show. How? And I gotta ask you the same way I asked Conway. Now, Conway, brave man. This is what I'm talking about. Conway, brave amongst the rivals watching the game. How did you enjoy where did you enjoy today's game, Spartacus?
I went to an Arsenal pub.
Wow! Man said he went to an Arsenal pub? Godfrey, you hearing this? Okay, talk to me. How did this come about?
I have a couple of friends who are Arsenal fans, and they were taking the piss out of me with this game. They were saying that no way City are going to win this. Liverpool are getting back. They won against Madrid and everything. I was like, yeah, bet. I'm going to go on a pub with you guys then. And I just non-stop fucking made fun of them because they drawed with Sunderland and we were smashed Liverpool.
Listen, now we're gonna talk about Arsenal. We're gonna talk about the ops in Liverpool and things moving forward. We're just gonna deal with today's game in particular because what I want to do is we're going to address a few things internally as well as externally. First thing that we're going to deal with internally is the starting 11. Conway, when you saw the starting 11, any hiccup, any shoulda, what were your thoughts when you saw the lineup?
Yeah, no. When I saw the lineup, I was actually all like, okay, I'm okay with this. I'm good with this. I think in terms of a hiccup, I wouldn't say I had a hiccup with the 11 per se. It was about the bench because there was no Kusanov there, and I saw him training midweek. So I thought having the opportunity to bring him off the bench as somewhat of a insurance policy type thing.
Yeah.
Just to have him there to solidify the defense, because Liverpool do have a lot of pace in their attack. So that would be the probably only slight hiccup in terms of what the squad looked like against Liverpool. So apart from that, I was happy.
Conway, am I gassed to say Rico Lewis would have done the job? Am I gassed to say that?
With the way Liverpool's attack looked today, Rico could have definitely done a job. I'll tell you that.
I think I could have played that today.
Rico could have played today. Now, and I'm gonna ask you, Spartacus, same question. When you saw the lineup, were you
The second I seen the lineup, I texted my friend, "We're smashing these."
Beautiful. I have to say, I saw the lineup as well, and I was like, I see it. I was in two minds because I was like, okay, Shirky and Foden, who's Pep bringing on if we happen to be chasing the game, or if we happen to want to bring on a little more of a attacking energy. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's a choice that he's going to make on the wings, maybe not centrally, right? But I had no problems with it either. I was like, okay, no, not playing Reinders, cool. Playing Shirky, okay, I'm with it. And if we're going to be honest, because that's what we do on CIA, when we look at how everyone performed, I was happy with how Shirky performed, but I also see why Pep took him off. Right?
Yeah.
You want to speak on that, Spartacus?
I think he was. No, aside, I think he was the worst player on the pitch. But this doesn't mean that he was bad. I just think that the whole team was playing at a 8/9 out of 10, with Doku being a 9.5. So bring it, and I understand why he brought on Savio as well, because he probably wanted to keep Nunes a little bit further back, so that Bernardo with a yellow card could be a little bit more safe, and he wouldn't need to get as stuck in as he was in the first half. So I understand exactly what Pep did.
Yeah, I listen. DC, my girl's in the building. DC happens to say hello, Blues. You know what it is. Also, listen, hello again, Mrs. Gentiles. I want to point out, with Savinho being subbed on, I see Pep does trust him, and all of us losing our minds when Pep kind of played him and him on the left wing or on the right wing is sometimes you want to see how these players perform. I think he knows what he can and cannot do out of Savinho. He's still going to challenge him at times, but him being subbed on made sense to me. And another thing is, if you look at the 11 guys and everybody in the chat, Shirky was the only player, and he's the newest addition in that 11. Right?
Yeah.
In terms of and again, this is something that we're going to talk about when we actually deal with some of these agendas with regards to Verts, but the intensity of the game, the continued pace, the physicality. I think Shirky did have some spells where, okay, listen, he's going to be a problem for oppositions. Absolutely, he was a little too nonchalant at times with possession of the ball, and I think Pep's sub was right. He was not, like to what Spartacus said, he was not terrible, but I think he was the worst amongst our 11. And we know he's going to be nice. We know he's going to be nice, and Pep doesn't need to force it with him. It's not like he was out there trying to chase a GA or chase a performance that he hasn't had for us. Let me try to catch up with these comments as well. I see where are we at? Let me add Knit in the building. Newbie says fantastic from Jersey. Not worried. Holland and Doku can't play every match.
I'm not worried about that.
What kind of worried? No one's worried. And I got Wurtzleed. Who's Wurtzleed in the building? He goes, "Am I a? Am I a?"
He's saying he's a Palace fan.
I don't.
Oh, so
believe
it's
it.
one of you, but Conway.
I don't know who that is, but what he's trying to say is I'm a Palace fan. Up the
Okay, I
Palace,
get it.
up the Palace. That's what he's
Up
saying.
the palace. All right, fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough. Rivals are more than welcome. This is CIA, where we deal with things with regards to City, and we deal with things with regards to the rivals, and we're going to get into it. So again, all three of us, and let me know in the comments if you guys were calm with that starting 11. If you were like, "Oh damn, it's going to be a long day for Liverpool," let me know in the chat. Now, from kickoff, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I didn't eat until the game. I didn't have an appetite until the game. I didn't have an appetite until the game.
Same here, Bayo. Same here, Bayo. Same here.
Listen, right? So it was one of those where it's like, I just want to see how we play. I want to see how we move. The 11 I was actually calm with. Funny enough, I think I predicted it with the exception of Reinders. I thought Reinders would have played instead of Shirky. But I had no problems. I had no problems with it. And how we were moving that ball around, how it seemed like we knew how they were going to run at us to press us. We were bopping that ball around. I was like, "Ooh, yeah, we're on it. We're on it." And I was mad confident. Conway, I'm gonna throw this one to you. I was mad confident even after talk about that penalty. I was still confident after that penalty, but talk about that penalty, please.
Yeah. Nah, see when we got that penalty, which I've heard Liverpool fans say it's not a penalty. I don't know where they got that
Oh,
from.
of course they're
When-
saying
I
when-
don't think it was.
No, but you know what?
What?
You
Okay,
know
okay.
what?
No, this is good. You, Conway, and then Spartacus, you next. You next.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
When Doku's running at high speed like the way he was when he was on the ball coming into the box, Doku at high speed, if you give him any sort of the slightest contact, he's gonna go down. And I've seen this numerous times with Doku. If he's running at high speed, with majority of the time is what he's doing on the ball on the pitch. In that scenario there where we got the penalty, the speed that he's going in with Mamadash really approaching him, and you can see literally his knee getting contact with Doku's leg. That slight contact can bring someone running at high speed down to the ground. Because it's very hard. It's very hard for you to still keep your balance while on top of that it's raining and the pitch is wet. So
Absolutely.
all these conditions, and the fact that Mamadash really's slight knee contact to Doku running at high speed is what amounted to Doku getting on the ground, and the referee saw that with the VAR. So I can understand if we're other people saying it's harsh, but at the end of the day, there's contact there, and if there's contact there with him running at high speed, then you just have to give the penalty, man. And what you said regarding your question when Haaland missed it, I was like, you know what? That's the first penalty that we've had all season. I'm still confident because I saw how we were playing leading to that penalty when we got it and Haaland missed. I'm saying we've been by far the better side.
Yeah.
So I wasn't worried the fact that we missed the penalty. I was just worried about, if we're 1-0 and it's going into the 75th minute, we could have potentially been 2-0 up.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
fair.
And this is what I do before I let you go, Spartacus. Is my old neighbor. We like it's not superstitious, but it's just like a ritual. So we shared. So before I moved, we actually shared a wall. My old neighbor. They're called semi-detached. My old neighbor, also a City fan. We would message. He would say, "Come on, Citeh," in the text, and I would say, "Let's go City" or "Let's go Citeh." And then it's something what we do before every game. And what was funny is back in the day before I moved in 2018, if whichever one of our feeds were a little quicker, we could hear the other one yell. Like it was one of those. So it was just an amazing friendship. But when I message him, I often do this, and he does the same, is if we see like a clear cut, that goal should have happened, he owes us one, whichever the player is, right? In this case, he messaged Haaland, he owes us one. And I was like, Haaland rushed it, in my opinion. And I was like, damn, is this going to be one of those games? But his attitude, his attitude changed my mind instantly because the camera panned on him and I was like, oh, this guy's in cyborg mode. He's not phased. I don't see any like head down. He was like ready for the next. Now, Spartacus, you explain to me why you did not think that was a pen, please.
Having played football to an academy level here in Brazil, I think what's going on in Doku's mind right there is, okay, I fucked up. I should have passed the ball to Haaland. Let me go down and make the ref make a decision. He knows that there is contact, and true, the contact is there, but I think the moment that he knocks the ball a little bit further and is not able to make clean contact, he just allows himself to go to the ground.
Okay, all right, okay, that is fair. Now, everybody in the chat, I need you to cook Spartacus for that take, but let's one second. So there was contact, there was a foul, but you're saying he could have.
No, I'm not saying there was a foul. I don't think that's.
You don't think that was contact enough for a foul? You don't think it was a foul?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Doku allows himself to go to the ground when the contact.
No. Hold on. You're saying too much. No. Hold on. I gotta press you right now. I gotta press you like we press Liverpool. Now, was there contact?
Yes, there was contact.
Okay.
Paulo's killing me. I swear it's so funny, man.
All right, so there was contact, but if I hear you clearly, and I do hear you, is that he didn't need to go down off of that contact. But being the intelligent player that he is, and we've seen many players do this, when he was like, "Oh, I'm not getting on the end of this. I'm not going to fight to stay up. I'm going down."
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fair. So Spartacus is saying that Doku didn't have to go down despite the contact, and that it was soft. I would agree. Have we seen players exaggerate? Van Dijk exaggerated in this game. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a clearance of the ball. There was contact with him, and he did his like, I'm jumping and I can't make contact type fall on the ground.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games where I was also, and I see you guys in the comments, large up. Trevor in the building, big up, massive win, huge win.
Come on.
And again, Trevor, this is a win going into international break, so we're going to be cooking this for some days, man. We're eating off this for a while. If you're on Twitter X Spaces, it's not going to be safe for you guys. I'm telling you right now, Conway's going to make life unbearable for you.
It's a long break for these guys, man. It's a long break.
Long break. Listen, ads, Mr. E. Listen, time to see. You guys don't want to talk to us. It's going to be a long day. Long international break. Good looking out, Trevor. Thanks for being in the mix. DC goes, love that Vader. Haaland got one back. He did. I was like, he's going to get us back. He's going to get one back. I'm confident in it. Easy. Now, Dre goes, soft pen is still a pen, Spartacus. There's intent from the goalkeeper. He was late, and there was contact. Yeah, and we're in agreement. I think Spartacus said, yeah. I think this is great. This is why the conversation flows so well. I got Conway, I got Spartacus, and all of you in the chat. Listen, we can say that it was a soft. We can say it was soft. There was contact.
I would say it was soft, but I don't say what.
And you know what? There was a split second where I was like, Doku should have tried and sold it sooner. Like the fact that there was that one step before he lost his full balance. I was like, maybe they're gonna. But no, the contact was there. And I completely agree with what Conway brought up. Like contact at high speeds, it doesn't show up when you slow some things down. It doesn't slow up when you go frame by frame. But like, we probably all did this as kids. You know, whether it's playing tag or whatever, and you're behind your friend's leg, and you just kind of clip it a little bit, so it doesn't go straight anymore, but it makes contact with them, and they look like Bambi for a sec. Like that's what happens with high speed contact, and I'm so glad that we did win the pen, and I also am so happy that we didn't score the pen. So from a controversial standpoint, from a CIA standpoint, with regards to agendas, Liverpool fans can't go, y'all won that because of a pen or a soft pen. We did not get no advantage from the soft pen.
Yeah.
How we beat y'all was legit 3 goals without this pen or controversy that y'all would have milked for this international break. Dre P goes, if you don't go down these days, you get nothing. That's true. When you play strong, and I don't know, I can't remember the game, but I remember Foden fighting to stay up when he got contact in the box. I was yelling my head off. I was like, go down. I forget
I think
what
it was
game
Brentford.
that was.
I think it was Brentford.
Was it Frankfurt?
Brentford,
Yeah.
actually.
Might be,
He,
but you know,
Yeah.
a quick point. Do you know how many times I've seen players get into the penalty box and they're running and there's clear contact which could lead to a foul and a penalty, and they still try and do something with football instead of going to the ground. You could have won your side a penalty, but you're still trying to do something with the ball. But
Exactly.
And Doku was smart. Say, you know what? There's contact there. I'm just gonna go on the ground, see if we get a penalty. We got it, but we didn't actually take it.
We did. You know, and again, some of you might get triggered. You may not like this name being named, but Sterling was nice at it. Sterling was real nice
Excellent.
at it. Yeah. And he knew how to entice that contact. And yeah, listen, Rose in the building. What? That was a penalty. He should go down all day. Listen, Rose, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. Now, we've cooked Spartacus enough on that one. No, I'm just kidding. We're all on the same page with regards to the penalty. Now, we play open play now, right? Or the game's flowing again. I think we're not too nervy for the missed pen, but we're like, listen, we should be scoring here. You guys want to talk about that first goal, Erling Haaland, and again, like we said, he owes us one on how he made that out of nothing or made the most out of it. And Spartacus, I'm gonna let you speak on this one. The Erling goal, I believe, assisted from Nunes. You want to speak on that?
Nunes, yes. I mean, that's just brilliant centre forward play, isn't it? Like Haaland, the ability just to get in the blind side of the defender, find the angle to get the header off and still score is just outrageous. Haaland is just outrageous at this moment. You can't stop the guy. He's just doing everything. Even the game in the Champions League against Dortmund, he was dribbling through players like he was fucking R9.
Yeah, he nutmegged, and I was like, let's go. He's in great form.
He's just, I think, unbelievable. I think he's the second best player in the planet at the moment.
I'm not mad at that. Now, Dre P mentioned. Well, that's actually after we scored. But you know what? Did I forget to post this in my group chat? My bad. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm good. When it comes down to how we created the opportunity, right? And Spartacus talked about Haaland's form. It's ridiculous. Like he's not a complete footballer or he's not nice on the eye. Like those conversations to have when he first joined us. Oh, okay, that was 3 years ago. To think that this player is not going to evolve, and I've spoken about this on this channel before, to think about any player is going to be set in their ways and they're not going to evolve is really silly to me. And it's something that I'm foreshadowing when we get to the man of the match conversation. But with regards to Haaland, you can't limit him to be like, okay, this is how he joined the club. This is what he's going to remain while at the club. No, he's going to evolve. He's going to get better. I like how again, I really don't have a problem with how Pep's allowing him to play because, yes, Haaland does walk around at times, but it's at the right time. Like when he's walking around, even when we have possession and maybe we're just passing it back for a little bit, getting a breather, or maybe assessing how we're being defended, I got no problem with it because what is so evident and it jumps off the screen when you see it is that when it's now like, oh, okay, ball's in this position, I'm locked in. And then he's just alive. And then, because that's how I rated this goal, Conway. Like, it was, oh, Nunes is putting this into space. I'm in there. And his elevation, getting in between both center backs, like Spartacus mentioned. Spartacus, Conway. I was told that Haaland isn't good in the air. I was told that. And we're seeing a lot of this season evidence that it's something that he's worked on. In his last press conference, he talked about it. Can you speak about how he made the most out of that goal?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, what you have to address about this goal is the cross, man. I think that cross from Nunes, the pinpoint accuracy, the delivery, yeah,
Thank you.
bro, that was one of the best crosses I've seen us deliver all season, man. And I think
Great
the
answer.
assist is 10 out of 10 for Mateus Nunes. The leap, the way Haaland jumps over Konate. I mean, obviously, the way I know you watch basketball, yeah, but
Yeah. Yo, that was
Haaland,
Jordan-esque.
do you know what I'm saying? Haaland, that was like a Shaquille O'Neal type dunk, where you literally leap over someone and you put the ball in the net. Fam, the lead. I think Konate, he could have defensively probably done better there, but I still think, just from a height perspective, that he still doesn't have the opportunity to get to the ball, and if he does try and header it, it still ends up with Haaland and it goes over him and it heads Konate potentially scoring an own goal in himself. But I think aerially, Haaland has improved massively, even defensively when we're trying to defend corners in so many games where other teams are trying to score from set pieces, and I'm seeing him defend away, header the ball away.
Yes.
So in all aspects of, in terms of what you require when you need to head the ball away, either from defending a set piece against the opposition or scoring, I think Haaland has improved very well in that regard. So he's become a complete striker, man. He just like that comment says, he posterized Konate 100%. 100%.
The highlight is ridiculous. The amount of goals that he's scoring is ridiculous. I think when you look at the importance of that goal too, because yes, he did miss the pen, but he was relentless. And the pass, like Conway said, Nunes, another player under tremendous scrutiny, questioned about not being City quality. We just beat Liverpool, who just beat Real Madrid. When we want to talk about quality and who's good enough for this club and what can we do now, Nunes, I rate his mentality 100%. This is a player that could have crumbled. This is a player that could have faded away when he, suffered a few mistakes, right? Even the mistake with regards to United that took me a while to actually forgive him for, but it's like you're a midfielder playing right back. You kind of misjudged it, but it's one of those where look at how much he's improved. Look how well he played in this game. And that pass, right on the point. Perfect. And yeah, the comment Dre P put up, he posterized. That, the way he reacted, the way he elevated, and the power that he generated to place it. Man. Mad highlight. Now, the game progressed a little bit. I believe that the missed pen, which Dre P mentioned, he goes, he would argue that Van Dijk's offside call was harsh, but they didn't deserve that anyway. Still was getting spanked. I agree. I think we were 2-0. We were 2-0 up. That was happening in the third. Late in the second half. But harsh. You know what? This is why I absolutely love being able to have the conversation with you guys post, because when I did the match reaction on the Football Terrace, which I won't be doing match reactions there, I'm going to focus on this channel, get the numbers up. Let me get the fun 5K. We'll revisit that possibly. But what I found funny from Terry when he was hosting and talking about it was Donnarumma wasn't pointing at the offsides, which was completely inaccurate. It was completely inaccurate. As soon as Donnarumma attempted to make the save, but then when he got up, the first thing he did was point. He pointed to the offside player and was like, we got to address this. We got to address this. Line of sight business, even with regards to the ball was going away from him. To say that there was no obstruction, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Now, I don't think the result changes either way, because that's one of those a lucky goal for them, right? A set piece, a lot of confusion in front of Donnarumma, and then they got the goal. We showed so much control in this entire game that I was like, the meltdowns that some of our fans had, I hope it was worth it. I hope your meltdowns were worth it to see what it takes to get improvement out of players, get improvements out of a club, and also have a manager that's not perfect, that's trying to figure things out as well. I thought it was great. Now, We talk about set pieces. I got Daniel C in the building. He goes, Blue Cartel, Citeh. If we can't win it, City have to. Listen, Daniel, my blue brother, I respect that. We're on a mission right now. It's only game week 11, lots of games left. But yeah, we're gonna do our best to play spoiler in this. Expected Liverpool and Arsenal favorites. But the second goal, Spartacus. The second goal. I'm gonna let you guys speak because I'm amped. I'm gonna gas it up way too much. I'm gonna gas up the second goal way too much. But you want to speak on the second goal for us? Oh, Spartacus is on mute. I'm not sure if he's by.
Shit! I'm on mute. Sorry, I just said I was gonna say, Conway, please do go first, because if I go first, I feel like I'm just gonna overhype the shit out of it.
Hey, yo, I don't mind going first. I think, you know what? A lot of the time we do criticize our players because we don't shoot enough. We don't shoot enough. I think we get into spaces and pockets where, you know what I'm saying, we keep trying to pass the hell out of the ball instead of doing what is required in terms of scoring, and that's shooting. You do have to shoot at the end of the day if you want to score a goal. And I think before, when Nico G got that ball, and the first touch before he even planned to shoot it, you can hear the crowd saying shoot, and then obviously he shoots, and we get the deflection of Van Dijk, and it's a goal. But I think that's something, even before he shot that, I think Nico G did try to shoot before he scored. Yeah, he did try a couple times. And that's what I like. That's what I want to see from my midfielders. When you're on the edge of the box, instead of just trying to pass the ball about, here and there, just have a shot, see where it goes with it. And obviously, in that instance, we managed to go 2-0 up. And yeah, it was great. I'm not going to say it was a fantastic goal, but it gave us a comfortable lead, 100%.
Yeah. And just before halftime, too. Go ahead, Spartacus.
I just love that goal, mate. Like, I love because I used to play the 6/8 role. I just love it when they just hammer the ball on the edge of the box. They just have the box and they just smash that ball. It's just such a good finish, and I just love it. I just love when players do that.
And it's something, again, I know we are missing Rodri. We're missing our Ballon d'Or player. But that is something that we've seen him do often, right? We can remember our Aston Villa comeback where he kind of just placed it into the net as well. And he likes to lurk around the top of the 18-yard box, and he can do his thing. We can also remember him shifting it to the left and scoring against Bayern. But I agree. I think we need to do a lot more of that. And if we are going to do that, let's do that in set pieces. Let's do that when all of their players are camped out in the 18-yard box. So if there is a deflection, if there happens to be a save, we're not too vulnerable. I don't like those shots sometimes when you maybe got a striker and a winger behind the play that could possibly get a counter on us because the six committed like that. But I loved it. I loved the attempt. I loved how you got to stay alert, and then maybe that opens up the box with regards to set pieces, because now they're worried about what we might do on the edges of the 18-yard box with regards to set pieces. But yeah, I love that we just green light, take it, and the momentum going into halftime. Now, you know how I said earlier, Daniel might have missed this, and some of you might have missed this earlier. I wasn't able to eat before the game. All right, I wasn't able to eat before the game. Guess what I was able to do at halftime?
He was eating.
I was eating. Conway, I was eating like, listen, it was brunch time, so the game kicks off at 11:30 for me out here on the East Coast. I had a couple waffles, I had some turkey bacon, I had some fruit. I was chilling. I was like, this feels good. This feels good. Now, the start of the second half, and I want to get into how we played. Obviously, we had to adjust quickly in terms of, we know that they were going to reset. They were going to make some adjustments. But the rain's coming down in that second half, right? And I think we also, for me, I noticed, we're not changing anything with regards to where we're going to focus our attack on. And let's talk about where the emphasis of our attack was sparking from in this game. Conway.
Yeah, do you know what it is? I think in the second half when it first kick-started, I thought in the first 5 minutes, Liverpool saw as they were trying to get a groove on. Obviously, they're 2-0 down, so they're trying to get back in the game. But I thought they were just having possession just for the sake of having possession. There wasn't too much intent in their attack.
Yeah. Because I felt like we also stifled it too, because they want to comfortably. They'd rather have Van Dijk. They'd rather Gravenberch. They'd rather McAllister have that ball, and we were like, "Nah, Konate, show us what you got."
Yeah, and that's what I thought we were very good in terms of manage the coastline spaces where it could potentially lead to a goal scoring opportunity for Liverpool. We didn't let them have too much space when the second half started, but when we got to obviously around the 55th minute mark and we started to get the ball back from Liverpool, try to play our own sort of how we were playing in the first half, that obviously led to our third goal. And are we going to speak about the superstar now?
Oh, yes. Everybody in the chat, please understand. We as City fans and rivals, you guys know this. We've had to defend this player with our lives. We've had to defend this player with our lives. And what a game, because we know all eyes were on it. These are one of those games where it's like, I don't want to hear your agenda points anymore. Like your nonsense about, oh, he's just a spicy this or a Temu version of that. Listen, no, that stops. This was a game versus the defending champs, a team that just beat Real Madrid earlier in the week. Talk about Doku. Whichever one of you want to go first. I'm gonna say this real quick. I love enjoying the game. Again, I was eating, I was chilling. I love enjoying the game and hearing the crowd's reaction. There was a moment, I think it might have been around maybe the 53rd-ish minute or something like that. Maybe the 50th minute, something. But it's, I think it's Bradley. I think it's Bradley and Gravenberch. And I love the volume's up. And I heard the crowd go, ooh, ah. And it was when Doku did, Doku's little shimmy and he went between the two of them. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Brilliant. That was brilliant.
He actually nutmegged Gravenberch in that sequence.
That's what I'm talking about. That was like, whoa, okay.
That was brilliant.
That was incredible. So I know it didn't result in a goal. I think
he had a shot on target.
He had a shot on target. But that was like foreshadowing. That was like a prelude, because he did that, and then listen, the confidence is up. You guys speak on it. Yeah, you guys speak on it. It was
a little preview for what led to the third goal. You know what I'm saying? So, but you see the third goal. I just want to talk about from the pass, Nico G to O'Reilly. I thought that was brilliant switch of play.
Yep.
The amount of space that O'Reilly's going into now, I thought, oh, now we have a proper scoring opportunity here. What's O'Reilly going to do? Is he going to get to the byline and just cross the ball in, hoping that Haaland can, you know what I'm saying, try and get to the end of that? But when O'Reilly gets to the pool and you're seeing Doku on the edge, I'm thinking, okay, what's Doku going to do here? You have Konate now approaching him. So he has to say, I need to create space for myself. That's when he does the little shimmy drop on the shoulder. And, that's his trademark.
That is. They need to add that. They need to add that to EAFC. I'm telling you. You need to add that little.
FIFA are bugging out. They need to add that.
Facts.
That's Doku's trademark.
Yeah, so I love it.
When Konate is approaching him and he does the shimmy and he creates space for himself, literally straight after that he does the curler and he shoots, and it's not just Konate, by the way. You have McAllister right next to Konate as well, so you have two players, which just goes to show you the difficulty of the goal.
Yes.
And the
confidence to take it.
Yeah, and the confidence to take it as well. But you knew that the performance, even before leading up to that goal, the fact that he was already man of the match, in my opinion, even before he scored that goal, the ability to have that such a brilliant performance gives you more confidence for you to strike that ball knowing that it's going to go in the back of the net.
Facts.
And it was the brilliant performance from him throughout the entire game. And I'm going as far to say this. I think what Doku put today, that performance he put today against Liverpool, that's the best individual performance I've seen from any player in the world this season. I don't think there's been a better individual performance from what I witnessed by Jeremy Doku today against Liverpool than any other player I've witnessed in all season in football.
That's high praise.
Because Conor Bradley and Liverpool and co, they just came up against Vinicius Jr.
Speak on it. Midweek. Speak on it. This is a great agenda point. Oh yeah, we cooking with this one.
And the fact that they were so calm defensively against those Madrid players, and Conor Bradley, salute to him, he did a job against those guys against Real Madrid. But today, Doku, he's not, and they love talking about how Doku gets in 1v1 position. It wasn't just a 1v1; it was a 1v2. Him and Gravenberch. It was a 1v3. Conor Bradley, Gravenberch, and Konate. It was a 1v4. Conor Bradley, McAllister, Gravenberch, Konate. Do you know how many times he cooked? Not just one, but multiple Liverpool players approaching him.
Master chef.
He was chefing it up today, man. And I think there's a compilation on Twitter right now that's going crazy numbers. Everyone go retweet that. Do you know what I'm saying? Spread the love with regards to Doku performance. But bro, this performance today, yeah. Literally after when the game was done and I saw his because he was smiling when the stadium announced that he was man of the match. Did you see that when Doku was smiling when the stadium announced?
Yeah. They put him on the big screen.
They put him on the big screen. But I stood on my feet in the lounge and I was applauding. And I it was people are looking at me like, yo, you know you're not at the ground, right? But I don't care. I'm still standing. I'm not at the stadium watching it. I'm in a lounge and I'm standing up when Doku came on the big screen. I had to stand up. I applauded that. Because, bro, that was magnificent, man. That was great there, man.
No, that's absolutely brilliant. Spartacus, this is what I love. I love that you guys were both able to watch this game with the ops. I like that you guys were in the field. My CIA agents were in the field. They were with the rivals, and they were standing 10 toes down, tall, no problems, ready to deal with the ops. Now, that man of the match announcement, and again, I also like when Doku scored. He did this. He was pointing to himself, not the badge. He was pointing to himself, and he was going. He said no, and he pointed up.
It's not me. It's God.
Yeah, and this is a player that he's playing with so much freedom right now, and it's one of those where it takes time for the manager to find what's the right mix to get the output out of the player, and then it also takes a player some time to figure out what works well, what doesn't work. Now,
especially when you're a young player like Doku, Savio, Bob, Jackie.
And haven't played many minutes, right? Especially in Doku. Yeah, he's a pro, but like hours logged in, he was like still new to this. Go ahead, Spartacus.
Yeah, I just think like it was obvious to see the whole career of Doku so far. There is something in him. Like he's one of those players that just has the skill, this ability to go past the player that nobody else has. It was all a matter of, is he able to start thinking about what's going to happen after he dribbles before he starts to dribble? Because back the 2 previous seasons, I think in his game, what changed the most is the fact that before he dribbled and then he had to improvise a way out of the situation that he puts himself into. Now he's starting to be like, yeah, I have the ball here. What happens if I dribble this guy to the right or to the left? And he starts to think about the next step before taking the first step. Mm-hmm. And I think this is massive. This is a complete game changer for Doku. And I think the other thing that started to happen is Pep realized this guy's brilliant at dribbling. I want him inside the pitch. If he's holding the width and he's just dribbling down the wing, he's not going to get into great positions. He's not going to get into dangerous positions. Let's get him closer to goal. Let's get him closer to Haaland. Let's get him closer to the other players so that when he does the dribble, he has options to choose from. Beforehand, really the only option he had was either try and take a basically impossible shot into goal or get a back post cross into Haaland with his weak foot, which are basically impossible situations. Now, when he does a dribble, he usually has midfielder to pass to, the fullback to pass the ball to go to the byline, Haaland at the back post, even recycle the ball into the 6. He has so many options, and he's usually picking the best option. So I just think that it's just player getting mature, the coach actually understanding how to get the best out of him as well. So I just think Doku's going to have a wonderful season and hopefully a wonderful career at City as well.
Yo,
Absolutely.
I got some quick data. I just want to say.
Yo, give the people the stats, Conway. What?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
in all of the Premier League games that we played so far this season, when Doku hasn't started, we've dropped points. When he started, we won.
I've heard a mental stat. I don't know if this is true though. I don't think we lost the game when Nico G and Doku started, both of them.
Yeah, that's facts.
Oh, damn.
That's facts. That's facts.
Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Let me put this on screen for you guys. Dre P goes, I would say that's the best dribbling performance I've seen this season. Vinny has no such performance this season. Vinny has better end product, but Doku, a better dribbler. Listen, Doku will never take pens. So from a stat point of view, from an output, that's always going to be Haaland. With regards to Real Madrid, it's going to be Vinny. We know it's going to be Mbappe. Those guys are going to be able to get those stats up. I will not fault.
Vinny.
Say again?
I don't rate Vinny. I'm Brazilian as well. I don't rate him at all. Never did.
Yeah, I hear it with regards to he's overhyped for what he does. I think his speed's brilliant. His trickery isn't like that. But when he's playing with ultimate confidence, when he's running downhill on you and when he's looking for a shot, he has a problem. He's tormented Liverpool. I want to put this on screen. This is something that the Premier League posted on Twitter X, and it's Doku's. Listen, this is Doku and what he did against Liverpool. So his touch map, crazy. Hopefully that's large enough for you guys to see. I don't want to make. Let me temporarily.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
Yeah. So this is when Spartacus brought up the point, and I know Conway's in agreement because we've talked about this on at different times. Because Doku goes central, and now you have to worry about 3 options now. Before it was like, is he going byline or is he cutting? Now, if he can go right, he can go left on you, and if he gets past you, he's going to have you remain on his back as he runs downhill on you. I think those options are great. He was also spreading a few passes, in my opinion, that should have resulted in a goal. Look at the one that he served up. In my opinion, it was Doku that served up for Foden early in the game. Right?
Yeah, it was Doku. Yeah, it was Doku. Yeah.
It was.
And that was just a fraction off. I think Foden kind of looked up and maybe should have given himself extended a little more to get a touch on that ball. But yeah, Doku was on fire. I'm CIA. When I feature on A-listers, that's Don Hussam's channel tomorrow, I'm cooking all day. Don't listen. I want to thank each and every one of you right now because I actually saw that my subscribers are going up, so thank you so very much. But I want to point out that I'm going to be cooking Don Hussam on A-listers. Then I'm going to be cooking Mike Dawes, who's a Liverpool fan, on American Waffle. I'm North American, so that's why I'm on that show. And then if I feature, I should feature as well on Sarcasm City TV, my man Flawless. The cooking's going to be nonstop. And then, when we all link up, True City Fan or Pitch Points, it's going to be a long international break. Now, we praise our players, right? And I'm also going to praise the players that don't quote unquote show up on the stat line. Bernardo, relentless is again. We can understand why Pep trusts him so much. The man was all over the pitch, and the man gave us some control when needed. He kind of like paused things down. He was also there. I hate that Verts kind of had a little move between him and Nico Gonzalez, and in my opinion, Bernardo sacrificed himself to get the foul, but the ref gave it to Nico. But Bernardo was everywhere. Nico playing on a yellow was brilliant as well. And he, no disrespect, he is playing, I think, in my opinion, he's playing beyond his time here. He came in Jan, and he's looking like he's been playing with us for a year plus already. So yeah. I like what we saw there. And then O'Reilly, great performance against the best winger in Salah. Nunez, again, played exceptionally well. Him matched up dealing with Verts was great. kept Verts quiet. And who? If I
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz, quiet in the sense like he's leading everything. You're not seeing mistakes from him. You're not seeing him having to put his head down and run backwards because he's well positioned. Sign of a great leader in that defensive back line. Gavardiol was the one where I was like, why are you making it hard
Dodgy
for
at
us,
times.
Gavardiol? Why I was like, why are you taking those chances with some of those passes centrally? Just if you're unsure, you got O'Reilly to your side, you got Donnarumma. I get the philosophy in terms of playing it forward, and we play with bravery, but there's a few times, and actually more than a few times, I was like, stop it. You're putting us in dangerous positions. But yeah, Gavardiol, played well for us.
We're forgetting about a play, you know.
We're forgetting about
Phil Foden.
I was saving Phil for last. Because we spoke about Shirky. I think Shirky's gonna be fine. Wasn't his best game, but Shirky's gonna be fine. Even with regards to Phil now, like I was saying earlier, it's not gonna show up on the stat line, right? What Phil did today is not gonna show up on the stat line like that. But the man is playing. He's playing the 8. Like there was a lot of doubt on whether Phil could do that. They're like, oh, he's good in the final third, and he's showing us he can play that 8 role. And Conway, because you wanted to make sure we didn't miss out on Phil, speak on Phil for us.
100%. I'll gladly speak on my boy. That's my guy, man. Phil Foden, yeah. Do you know what he's shown us this season? The fact that he's a complete midfielder. This guy.
Another right answer.
The ground that he covered today, from a defensive standpoint, when Liverpool are attacking us, and I'm seeing Foden track back, win the ball back, build up play. When Ruben Diaz and Gavardio get the ball, if Nico G is not there to collect it, Foden is there to collect it, and it's helping us build up play in that manner. I thought today it was absolutely magnificent, and he should have got a goal contribution as well, because people are forgetting that pass that he made to O'Reilly, which O'Reilly is in so much space. O'Reilly had so much time for him to.
He skied 2 of them.
Yeah, but this is the one thing I would say about O'Reilly that he needs to work on. He needs to work on his
shooting.
Yeah.
O'Reilly needs to work on his shooting, because I feel like that's the bit of his game that he's missing currently. But once he gets his shooting on point, we're looking at a complete left back at the moment, because defensively right now he's absolutely magnificent. When he gets to the byline and he has the opportunity to cross the ball in, he's brilliant in that regard as well. But when you get to a position where you have a goal scoring opportunity, just from a shooting standpoint, when they're doing their training sessions, I feel like O'Reilly should be fixated on that. So Foden, he should have actually left this game with an assist on his board. And like you mentioned, what Foden did today is not going to show up on the stats. But if you're a footballing man and you watch football with your eyes, what Foden delivered today was a midfield masterclass. He absolutely bossed the Liverpool's midfield. They had Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister was running rings around those guys. And I thought that this 8/10 hybrid role that he's currently doing, as long as Foden is on the centre of that midfield and he's playing in and around those areas, that is the type of position that I want to see Foden playing. And salute to Tuchel. He's now called up Foden back to the England squad. And he's saying Foden, he's in those central areas, which is something that Southgate never understood. He was just pushing him on the wing. Foden is a complete midfielder. As long as he's in the midfield, he's going to give you, at the bare minimum, a 7 out of 10 performance. And I thought today he was an 8 out of 10. Magnificent.
I agree.
I think it's very simple. There is a very simple equation to City games. The more times Phil Foden gets the ball, the more likely we are to win the game. I think that's just as simple as that. The more he touches the ball, the more likely we are to win it. This guy, he's just so good. He's so talented. There are very few people who are better at him at this 8 role, and I think I really struggle to go past Vitinha and Pedri on the planet who are better than him at this role. I really struggle to go past them. Like, Foden is just so good. His ability. There was a moment where everybody was tied down. They went man for man on the back line. Everybody in the midfield was tied down as well. Foden found a way to get into a little pocket of space for just a fraction of a second. relieve the pressure on Josko Vardio, to spin, I think it was McAllister, and drive
Yeah.
the ball up the field. It was just
No one
beautiful
does
to
that
see.
better. No
No
one
one
does
does
that
that.
better. And even we used to see, in terms of like the pace and some of that power, we saw KDB kind of do that. But in terms of like that half turn, and not only does he take that half turn, but it seems like that ball is always right there by his foot, ready to either release a pass or even shoot when he's further up the pitch. I thought he had a great game. I thought he had a great game. Dre P in the building goes, Foden is doing extremely well this season. He's actually more physical and making tactical fouls as such. I agree. And one thing is we know, unfortunately, a portion of our fan base were in a bad place last season. I don't fault them for it. I get it. Not all of us deal with adversity. Not all of us deal with difficult times the same way. But there was a portion of the fan base that turned on Phil Foden. He can't be part of the future. He can't be leaned on. I think too many, our fan base as well as rivals, took their shots at Foden last year. They weren't able to do it all
Do you
the
remember?
seasons previously. Yeah, go ahead.
Vega, do you remember we was doing CIA last season, yeah? And there was a specific CIA show that we were speaking about Foden and the hate he was getting from our fan base. And I called this out. I called this out last season on your channel. I said, you guys, the people that are speaking ill about Foden, you're going to end up eating your words. And now what I'm seeing is so many people across my timeline are saying, you know what, Foden, my bad. Now you want to apologize. Instead of sticking with someone, and this is how the world works. When you're in a bad place at the moment and you're not performing well, either whether it's in your job or just in life in general, people are not trying to hang around you. They're not trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Do you know what I'm saying? Just give you time. You'll get back to where you was at. We're just immediately trying to crash it on that person. Bro, that's his first bad season he's had at this football club since he was introduced into the first team squad at the age of 17. Just allow it, man. A lot of things that was going on in his personal life, which I'm not going to mention, just allow it. Now look at what he's doing.
And you know what I dislike? And Spartacus, you'll go next. You know what I did? I dislike from our fan base, the my bad. I don't like the my bad because it's like, you can't cuss out a player, right? You can't say that you want them out or that they're not good enough, they're not to the level, and then they give you a game and then you're like, oh, I was wrong. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't. These players, and we know this because actually Holland revealed this, right? Holland doing his robot celebration. He's like, oh, I've seen the comments and how I'm kind of characterized. These players see it. We know this. For our fan base to be crashing it on Foden was the absolute worst, especially when it was our worst time from a season standpoint. I hated it so much. I want to point this out before I go to you, Spartacus. But Blue goes on to say, I think we're living in a Philip Walter era, obviously talking about Phil. And when you have some of your seniors, some of the guys that were around before you move on, right? David Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, KDB. You're going to see Foden take more of a role. And for all of those that were saying he's just another guy, well, when you have greats around you like that, you're going to kind of come across like another guy. But his talent, his quality was unquestionable. You speak on Phil, Spartacus.
I just think, and this is something I never really understood with people, especially when you want a player to go. Why do you hope for them to do badly? Surely, even if you want a player to go, you want him to do well.
Yeah.
Because if they do well, all the sides, they're more likely to approach City to buy them. If a player is playing shit, nobody's going to be buying him. Nobody's going to be looking at City to get that guy off the football club. So you're more likely to stay with him. This is something I never really understood. If you don't want the player, you have to want him to do well because this is more likely for him to go.
Absolutely.
Go on.
Now, when we talk about players, tough times, good times, we know where that comes from. We know that these players are human. We know that sometimes they're going to have ups or downs, and that happens to an academy player. That happens to a big signing. We need to realize that these players are dealing with something. One thing that I'm never going to forget, guys. I'm never going to forget. It's one of those where we're always going to be peeps. We're always going to be peeps. I say this often. There's a clear line to me on who amongst our circle of fandom, right? A circle of fan friends. If we were all there, right? If we were all there at that game, I know the fans that wouldn't have been there for the 93-20. I know the fans. It's harsh to say, but how I've seen some of us, many of us, in my opinion, speak on how our players were, and in this case, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this, man. We got to talk about the manager that's been doubted with all that he's poured out and given us. We got to talk about the fans, in my opinion, who wouldn't have been 93-20s. They would have been the ones walking out. They would have been the ones. Whoa, wait, we won? Aguero scored? There's a fan base that turned on this guy and turned on some of our players. Let me speak to these numbers real quick. And I see the comments. Good looking out. Thunder in the building. Top guy Vader, bless. Listen, everybody on this panel right now, Conway and Spartacus are top guys as well. Thanks for being a part of the show. Dre P also goes, well said. Rashford and Garnacho gone are big losses to United. City fans need to chill. Yeah, we need to chill. We need to recognize that there's development happening with the manager and these players and the sport that they play. But the managerial record for Pep is ridiculous. I saw a nice video congratulations from Jurgen Klopp. I think that was very classy. And to think of what Pep's done, he's managed the most games at Manchester City. I take pride in that, guys. I take pride in the best manager that I've seen manage the most amount of games at my club. Like that's something. Listen, I got platinums here. I've been around. That's something I never imagined. Never imagined. Even when Pep came here, when the announcement came, I didn't think he was going to be here this long. I did not think that Pep was going to be here this long. The man has managed 550 games, 389 wins, 79 draws, 83 losses, a win percentage of 70.5. Crazy.
You know what's the scariest thing?
Go ahead.
Does he look like he wants to stop?
See, okay, I'm not trying to get too giddy. I'm mad happy with the result. But I'm trying not to get too giddy because there's so many milestones that are still so close for him to reach. Spartacus, you know what I mean? He doesn't look overwhelmed. He doesn't look like he doesn't know the pace of being the manager of Manchester City, right? He looks the most comfortable. Conway, he looks so comfortable in press conferences.
Yeah.
And he was looking that way even when, I know, rivals want to talk about how he was scratched and stressed. Yeah, he scratched and stressed, or he was stressed then because he's like, I know my players are better than this. I know these guys need to play better. Him trying to figure that out obviously would be stressful for anything. But it wasn't, I don't want to be here. I think him signing the 2-year contract, and this is the first of the two, was very telling. And I know that the board are doing everything that they can to show Pep, you got another 2 more years in you, right? You got another 2. Look at what we could achieve. Look at what's kind of lined up. Look at the development of some of these players. Look at when they kind of get to their peak ability, what you might be able to do. Listen, what Pep has done and how he looks while he's doing it is, I think it should be encouraging.
Do you know what it is, Ray? Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got to salute you for leaving this segment at the end because I wanted to speak about Pep. Because I think the guy that deserves the most credit today is him. 1,000 games is a huge landmark, man. A lot of managers don't get the opportunity to manage up until that point. And obviously, you mentioned Klopp, congratulated him, which was good to see. It was not just Klopp. I think Sky Sports released a video showing a plethora of managers who managed up until
Okay.
the 1,000 mark. David Moyes, Neil Warnock, Big Sam, a lot of guys, like literally.
Oh, okay. All the ones that done it before showed.
All the ones that got, even Fergie was on there. Even Fergie was on there, which I was
That's a great.
surprised.
That's a great class. Great class
Yeah,
of men. Yep.
yeah, which I was surprised to see. Fergie, obviously, he's a United manager. So all the guys that got to the 1,000 point landmark, which is a huge landmark.
Yeah. Exclusive club.
Yeah, it's an exclusive club, 100%. They were congratulating Pep on that landmark, and I thought a 72% win rate. Do you know I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's probably the only manager in that exclusive club that has such a high win rate
Yeah.
after 1,000 games. That's
Yep.
insane in it. So, and I still remember till this day in 2016 when it was announced that Pep was going to take over after Pellegrini left. I was in sixth form at the time. I was in class sitting, the teacher's teaching, and I'm sat on my desk chilling, just doing the work, listening to the teacher. And then when the class finished, my friend who's in the other class, he comes into the class and he says, "Yo, bro, I just got this guy sport notification saying you guys are getting Pep." I was like, "What?" I bring out my phone and I'm seeing the first notification that says Manchester City announced Pep Guardiola will take over at the end of the season. I dropped my phone. I was like, "Yo, I'm in class. I'm in class. The teacher's about to walk off. He's seeing me look at my phone, drop it. He's like, 'Yo, you okay?' I didn't even say nothing to him. I was like, yo, from that point onwards, inside that classroom, I knew my life changed. My life changed. And
It did.
And
It did.
10 years onwards from that, what he's managed to achieve at this football club, what he's achieved in the two previous clubs that he's managed at, I think without a shadow of a doubt, when you're talking about the greatest managers of all time and people are discussing, who's the GOAT, in that conversation, I'll only take part in that conversation for like 10 seconds. And in that 10-second convo, when people are discussing that, I'm just going to say, yo, Pep is number one. Now you guys can discuss who's 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to leave the room. That's it. Because, bro, it's so clear. He's so high in terms of being the greatest managers of all time that he's number one. And whoever's number two, you just have to take a 2-3 minute long pause before you speak about who's next after it. That's
Absolutely.
how much I rate this guy.
And and Spartacus, as you speak on it too, it's the constant challenge of improving is what you see in Pep. But I'll let you speak on the run. I'll let you speak on maybe his time at City or even pre. Just speak on Pep because he deserves this.
I just think it's ridiculous how every season he changes the way he plays football, and he's always one step ahead of everybody else. You can see that as clear as day. He does something one season, next season everybody's trying to copy it, and then he's already changed. He's got something better, something new, and it's ridiculous. And sometimes even if it's even something old that his previous coach, for example, Cruyff used to do this 3 diamond 3 situation. Now Pep is bringing this back into football because this is basically what we're doing right now. We're playing 2, and then Nico G at the base with 2 midfielders, 1 ahead of them, and then at 3 up top. So he's just constantly reinventing the game and how people look at it, to the level that even here in Brazil, you see 3rd, 4th division sides implementing concepts that Pep Guardiola developed. And I don't think we've ever seen something so remarkable at the sport ever. I believe even if Pep didn't win anything, the impact that he had on the game makes him the greatest coach of all time, even if he never won anything.
Well, this is just it. Like, he gets so much criticism for the style of football and everyone copying it, but because he's winning, then you have this formula is working. Let's add this. And again, I think when you spoke about constantly changing, again, if your intent is to try and play the best football you can, and we've heard him say this in many press conferences, and it's not to say that his football is the right football, but for him, this is what he wants to do. The tweaking and the changing is because he's done something. He's like, oh, that can be improved, or I see the vulnerability, and most importantly, which he does not get the credit for, he adjusts for what he has available player-wise. Like
Yep.
if
Yep.
a player has limitations and they're not as 2-footed, or their distribution of the ball, or they don't carry it well, he adjusts. And this is where it's like the whole myth about Pep can only win with top rated or best bought players. That's a absolute lie, because the reason why CIA is the reason why I love this channel, and obviously it's mine, but the reason why I love this show, when I'm able to have people like Spartacus and Conway and those that aren't able to join right now but have been on the show, is because when rivals say Pep's got to buy the best to win, when you criticize a transfer window and the quality not being of that quality and he's winning, what does it mean? Is that
but Vader, that in itself is a myth, because if you look at the top 10 most expensive windows by any football club in all of Europe, we're not in the top 10. We're not in the top 10. I saw a tweet which baffled me. I believe 2-3 weeks ago. Big up to the guy who tweeted it. He listed all the top 10 clubs that spend the most amount of money in transfer windows. Obviously, Liverpool's number one because they splashed the bag.
Yeah.
And then if you go from 1 up until 9, City, you're not in the top 10 in terms of the most expensive transfer windows by club. You'll see Arsenal there. You'll see Chelsea there multiple times. And Real Madrid, obviously, when they did the Galactico summer. But City, you're not there once. So if you want to talk about it from a money standpoint, we're just going into the transfer window when required. If we need to go into a transition period, which we're currently in last season, bringing in the likes of Nico G, Marmoush, and all these guys, which you have to do after the all gone left, such as Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only time when we go into the transfer window. We don't just go into the window and panic buy like what Chelsea and what United have done over the past couple of years. This is not something that we do. So the money spending thing is a myth in itself.
Facts.
Can we just realize how crazy it is that Pep got 2 midfielders and developed them into the best fullbacks in the league?
That's insane.
That crushes all of the talk about he's got to buy the best. He turned a quote unquote panic buy, right? Everybody was saying Nunez panic buy. He's not of City quality. Okay, well look at the job he just did against Liverpool, who slapped up Real Madrid, right? In terms of dominating that entire game. And then we can't ignore the confidence that he's given this young player in O'Reilly. Because O'Reilly's what, 6'4"?
Yep.
6'4". You played as a midfield in the academy, and he's got a spot defending against Salah.
Vader, do you remember when we signed Fabian Delph when Pellegrino was still at the club, yeah? When we signed Fabian Delph, I'm thinking, why did we get this guy from Aston Villa? I don't rate him as a midfielder whatsoever. Then Pep Guardiola comes in the following season, he turns him into a left back, we win the league. He made Fabian Delph look like a quality left back, cutting in with his left, shooting, scoring with his right, banger goals. And we went on to get 100 points. So I think when Pep, the different types of formations, the ability to pick a lineup and not have a striker in it and tell Kevin De Bruyne, you're going to be the false 9, or Foden, you're going to be the false 9, and we're going to win these games and see if we can compete for the league, and then we end up winning the league. The different ways, and like I'm seeing Arsenal now have Saliba moving to the midfield with what we were doing with Stones 2 seasons ago when we won the treble. And that goes back to Spartacus' point when he mentioned about the impact that Pep has had on the game and his legacy. Even when he does retire, you got the likes of Company, Arteta, Xabi Alonso, Luis Enrique, flipping some other guys that I'm forgetting. All of these managers come from the school of Pep.
Yeah.
So his impact and legacy, you can just see it on all of these different other. Even Maresca, who was at the City's academy, all of these guys, they come from the school of Pep. So when Pep does leave, he's left his fingerprint on all of these other guys. So when you're watching their football, them playing out from the back, trying to come up with these inverted, all of this stuff. But all of you guys are Pep students. So his impact, that in itself, just speaking about his impact and legacy, that in itself is what makes him the greatest manager of all time.
Well said. Well said.
Madrid.
Go ahead, Travis.
Pep's impact is so ridiculously big that Real Madrid are getting a Pep school manager in Xabi Alonso.
Facts.
They are bowing down to the Barca way of playing football. This is how crazy it is.
And there's no signs of it actually stopping either, because you look at the success that's happening over there at Bayern. You look at what's happening at Real Madrid. And I want to speak on because I know you guys tune in. Obviously, big win versus Liverpool. I'm going to bring up the standings, and I want to hear it from Spartacus. I want to hear it from Conway. When I put this on screen, talking about the standings and the upcoming threats, because I want to be cognizant of time and not keep these guys too long. All right, let me adjust this. Now, those of you in the chat, also let me know who you think the threats are with regards to City. What do you think should be the biggest concern when CIA has their when we have our meetings and we're talking about this is who we need to focus on. Here's where the agenda points are going to be coming through. I don't need to see the form. All right. Let's see here. All right. I think that should be good. Now, on the screen right now, this is the standings. This is the standings. I went, because again, we just played a match versus Liverpool, so I thought it was going to be fitting to keep Liverpool in the conversation so you guys could see the standings, all right? I'm joined, if you're tuning in just now, I'm joined with Conway and Spartacus, 2 CIA agents. Both of them were in the field with ops during this game. Both of them were like, they weren't in the comfort of their own home. They were like, listen, I'm going to stand with these ops and I'm going to be toe-to-toe, tell you what's up. Conway dealing with them, Spartacus dealing with them. And the result, man, it must have been lovely. I see some new additions in the mix. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Listen, Tavern says Liverpool was beatable this season. Wait. Yes, every team's beatable.
I
Every
mean, we
team's
just
beatable.
smashed them, so
But
I hope they...
beatable like this? Like that type of performance? I think, not many were saying the City can play like this, to be real with you.
Liverpool had 1 shot on target the whole game.
Yeah, and it came in the 75th minute.
So Bozla, yeah.
I was writing it down. I was like, yeah, what a game. Now, I want to point out, guys, and I'm wary. I'm wary of the time, so I want to point this out. Everybody on the UK, bless as well. I know it's late over there, but at 8th, we got Liverpool. They're 8th in the standings, right? We've all played 11 games. There's no game in hand, none of that stuff. But after 11 games played, they're at 18 points. United are above them, 18 points as well. They've suffered 3 losses to Liverpool's 5 losses. United have less losses than Liverpool, guys.
Yeah, that's mad.
Crazy.
That's
Crazy how
crazy.
Liverpool didn't draw a single game as well.
They're either winning or losing. They're either and again, they were winning the games. Can't take anything from it, right? The 5 games to start off the season, there was much mention of the late winners that they had. So those could have gone the other way. But they got their wins. But this Liverpool, and again, from an agenda standpoint, this is CIA. We're gonna hit you. We're gonna hammer you with these agendas points all the time. They record transfers twice. They did it twice. Isak did not touch the pitch today. Injury that many want to say is because he wasn't fit, because he couldn't train. Well, he made the choice to sit out. All right. There's no crying. There's no violins. He made the choice to sit out. So it is what it is. Hopefully he gets healthy. He can return. But he brought that on himself. Wirtz has not hit the ground running. When you spend that kind of money, when you're supposed to be the best that Germany has to offer, you're not supposed to be playing like this. You're not supposed to be out. You're not supposed to be dispositioned, right? Spartacus and Conway, we all saw it. He was on that starting 11. I was like, oh, Wirtz is starting in a big game.
Do you know what it is?
I was surprised.
Spartacus and Vator and everyone in the chat that's currently watching, everyone has to congratulate themselves because we've all managed to register the same number of goals and assists as West has in the Premier League. So big up to you guys. Big up to you guys, man.
I love that. Listen, the thing that's crazy is that Liverpool spent all of that in the summer. They had all of that drama. They had all of that confidence. They had, you know what, from a position of strength, they're going on. They've never won back-to-back Prems. This is their moment to do it. Again, the season's not over. It's game week 11. A lot's going to happen. Guys, don't be silly. A lot's going to happen. We've seen a lot happen. Not everything needs to be predicted that it's going to be like Liverpool and City when you have draws and you're out. It's not going to be that case, right? This is going to be its own unique season. But Liverpool spending the way they did, I'm, from an agenda standpoint, going to be I'm going to be applying that thumb on the pressure a little bit because there's doubts about this manager after all that they spent. I'm going to be applying that pressure on he's spending the money on Verts and he's not hitting the ground. I'm going to be applying that pressure on Isak. Abdallah in the building, good looking out. What's up? But I'm going to be applying all of that pressure on Liverpool. They're not accustomed to spending like Chelsea. They're not accustomed to spending like Chelsea, but they're going to react like Chelsea fans and want this manager out because of how much they spent. That's how the psyche goes. You spent this much, you can't be falling back, right? They were leading the league this way when they didn't spend anything. Now that they spent some money, this manager can't manage it. That is the pressure point that I think we need to apply to Liverpool. Do you guys have any other maybe angles that you want to take with regards to Liverpool fans? Conway, I know you be in the spaces. Is there anything you want to maybe say differently with regards to Liverpool?
No, not really. I do want to reference something that I said last week on CIA shows last week, and you were shocked when I mentioned this statement. I told you Chelsea are going to be a bigger threat than Liverpool. Did I not say that last week?
No, okay.
Did I not say that last week, Vader?
You did say it, but you're jumping ahead. We'll get to Chelsea.
Yeah, we'll get to Chelsea.
We'll get to Chelsea. You could have flexed that later. You got to flex it now. You couldn't help himself. Spartacus.
I actually have something. I have a different approach to all of this. I don't think this Liverpool can work out. I don't think this side can work out at all.
At all.
This is something that I've been saying since the summer. Liverpool went for names instead of profiles. And there wasn't ever a situation in the Premier League where going for names over profiles got a good result. They didn't think about how would Isak work with Fuds, with Salah, with Ekitike, with Gravenberch. They didn't think about how those profiles complemented each other. And the answer is they simply don't. Those players, they don't. Wait, let's go, for example, into our back line. Why does Ruben Diaz and Josko Vadio or Ruben Diaz and Stones work so well? Because Ruben Diaz is very good at the physical side of the game. Strong, pushes players around, blocking shots, getting stuck in, just pushing people around and being that physical presence, that traditional football defender that we used to have back in the day. When you go to the other centre-back, they are not particularly good at that side of the game, but they are brilliant with the ball. Very good passers, very good ball carriers, very good players to build out from the back. So they complement each other. When you go Haaland, Savio, for example, Savio's not the best finisher, but he can cross the ball. Same with Doku. He can find Haaland in the box. They are good at what Haaland is not good at. In the midfield, we have Rodri, who's more of a physical presence, a metronome. And then you go to the other side, Kevin De Bruyne, and not that, more of a creative guy.
So you're saying the balance. You're saying the balance, how Liverpool targeted this season from a position of strength. They didn't keep the eye on what was going to be the best balance for the club. Yep. Now, I'm going to agree with that, especially with what we've seen and how we've seen Slot struggle with finding the right balance. I think as a CIA, because as CIA we're known to destabilize establishments. We're going to look to destabilize Liverpool from a manager standpoint. We're going to continue to place that doubt on them giving these big contracts to Van Dijk and Salah. And then the record signings with regards to Isak and Verts. We've got some great agenda targeting points. Liverpool fans are going to be under pressure constantly. Now, let me try to do a clean transition as well. United. Should they require Conway? Should we spend any focus, any energy, any concerns with United and the title race, or should we just kind of dismiss those guys, and they're probably looking to fight for top 4.
And
Yeah,
not
I think
even
that-
top 4.
Yeah, no, I agree with the Spartacus. Yeah, the top 4 fight for them, because even though they play one game a week, which gives them enough time to reset and whatnot, I still think their midfielder Casemiro has been good this season for them. But I think how long is he going to be good for? I think what I'm witnessing from Casemiro right now is sort of a purple patch. Is he going to be able to continue for playing the manner he's playing right now throughout the entirety of the season? I don't know yet. And his substitute when Casemiro's not playing is Ugarte, and he's rubbish in my opinion.
Yeah, he's trash.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I think United have a good chance in getting top 4. It just depends on how they're gonna look come March.
Top 4 battle for United, and that's the highlight. Now, are we applying any pressure on Amarin? Is he really just an interim? Like, there's no chance that even with them gaining top 4 that he's gonna remain. Do you think?
I hope he does.
Yeah.
All right.
If he doesn't get
fair
top 4, he'll get sacked, though.
If he doesn't
I
get
think
top 4,
they're in
he's sacked.
I think they're in the top half table. Fight. I'm gonna be
half
honest.
fight?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna revisit this. Okay, top half fight. Okay, that's fine. Now, I hate that we dropped points to Aston Villa. Pep did a tinker moment with regards to that game. Yeah, Amarin is already under pressure. I think the fans, regardless of where they finished top 4. The fans obviously don't want him. He's only kept this job because they gave him 3 games to turn it around, and quote unquote he's turned it around. But yeah, I think he's an interim manager in my opinion. Drake P goes United ? Those jokes. Aston Villa. Top 4 fight.
I think top 4.
Top 4. You think they'll still be consistent in this mix to challenge to be a
Yes.
problem with regards to top 4 fighters? Okay. Spurs, our bogey team. The only thing I am concerned when we do play them, because I want the 3 points when we play them, because I think it is going to be one of those tight races. But Spurs, are we thinking about them with regards to anything Champions League? Are we thinking about them with anything with regards to top 4? Are all of these clubs in a top 4 fight? Like, who do you think might fall off by the time we get to the holiday break, the winter break?
Sunderland, I think.
See, I was the opposite. I thought Sunderland were going to be the most consistent.
Yo, the Stadium of Light is not nothing to play with, you know.
I think they're going to be the most consistent just because of style of play and kind of like under expectations, right?
Yeah, but I also think this is the thing. I really rate Thomas Frank, and I also think that Spurs are doing badly at the moment. But that's also because every single ounce of creativity that they have got injured at the same time.
Yeah,
they have nobody that can progress the ball.
I spoke about that in
midfield.
the group chat. I was like, listen, we suffered our loss to Spurs, but they weren't this bad. Like, this Spurs that are dropping, that are playing poorly.
They got another injury today that got announced. Colin Wani with
Ah,
a fractured
yeah.
jaw.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Fractured
out for
jaw?
with a fractured jaw. He's gonna be out for like weeks or months.
Holy crap. Who do they
Their
play
injuries
next?
are just piling up. Their injuries are just piling up. It was actually sad for them.
They played Man United.
They play United after the international break,
No,
right?
they play
No,
Arsenal.
they
play
just
Arsenal.
played Man United.
No,
They
yeah,
just
but
play.
just before the international break, who they play after?
They play Arsenal.
Oh, yeah, Arsenal.
It's the North London
Look
derby
at
after the
that.
international break.
Nice for Arsenal. Nice for Arsenal. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna save this for the Arsenal section because we're gonna
Okay.
talk about every
So-
single one.
So I think Sunderland are going to be the most consistent out of all of these because expectations are pretty low. This is all bonus. The fan base are going to be like, go, let's try and do it. Not that they're going to have a Leicester season by winning the league, but it's kind of like the Leicester vibes, like just go out and play.
Do you know what the issue with Sunderland is though? Just
What's
a
that?
quick one, yeah. They have too many African players. I know that came out wrong, but they.
Hold on, let me rewind that. You can clean it up. You can clean it up.
Yeah. What I mean by they have too many African players, even though it sounds wild, the AFCON is happening in a couple of weeks' time. I think during that period they're gonna play us. They have some tricky fixtures as well, away from home.
A lot
I
of their
think
quality is going to be gone.
Yeah. How are they gonna handle having those plethora of players, Traore, Adingra, all these guys? How are they going to handle those players not being able to reach up for them since they're going to be at their countries for the AFCON? How's that going
Yeah.
to look for them? Because they've got a lot. I think they are all the Premier League sides. I think they've got the most African players.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's something to note. That's actually a very intelligent agenda to kind of take note of. We'll see Sunderland during AFCON, the players that they miss, the quality that may not be available, and whether they drop points. Now, if it happens to be one of those where those players are gone and they're still staying with
Yeah,
the
then
mix,
you have
they're
to take
still-
them seriously.
Yeah, then they're a problem, because when those players come back, then it's going to be a problem. Now, y'all, we're getting into Sunderland's now top 4. We have to discuss Chelsea. Conway, early days, false started and had to do the "I told you so" because a couple shows back. But Conway wanted to talk about Chelsea, and I gotta admit, I'm surprised. I know it was only Wolves, but I'm still surprised that Chelsea, with how they were looking, suffering losses to United, that they're here. Can you,
Yeah.
go ahead, because it's your time, Conway. You deserve it.
Now, do you know what it is? When I said that last week, I know you were shocked, and the people that are watching are kind of shocked as well. On last week's CIA, when I said Chelsea are a bigger threat than Liverpool, the only reason why I mentioned that, and I saw it against the Wolves game as well, their midfield is just so good, man. Like I generally think Chelsea's midfield is top 5 in Europe, because they got the ability to play Caicedo, Enzo. Enzo had a very good game against Wolves. And Cole Palmer's still not even there featuring for
I
them.
know. I hate
And
that he's
I
not
think-
there.
Yeah, and I think right now the ability and the opportunity that they've had to be in the top 3 where they're currently at, and they haven't had their best player available to them, you got to give massive credit to what the manager's done. And from when I saw them beat Liverpool in the manner that they did, with having no defenders available across that backline, just playing a bunch of fullbacks within that backline, I had to salute Chelsea. And from then on, I took serious note on that. And then a couple games after, I know they lost to Sunderland, which was a silly loss to happen. It's just like our loss to Aston Villa, as an example.
Yeah.
But I feel like from a consistency standpoint, if they can manage to come out after this international break with Cole Palmer, who's potentially going to come back by the end of November, Liam Delap, who just came back from an injury, and João Pedro, if they manage to have a consistent starting 11, they are going to be a very, very tough team to beat. And that's and it's entirely because of their midfield.
I'm gonna ask you this then: does Palmer coming back actually improve them? Because
he's the best player.
I don't think I agree with that. Because when Palmer comes back, Enzo Fernandez won't be able to get in those same areas that he was getting right now.
Yeah, but
in this past few weeks.
I'm not playing Palmer in midfielder.
So you're playing him on the right.
Yeah, I think that's where Palmer does his work best.
I think that's when he's had his best impact. I mean, yeah, that's how Poch was managing him, but yeah, Palmer coming off that wing, playing a little central. If they're able to hold the width with I don't know, with their wing back or how they're going to do things defensively, and have him come central, he's a problem. I agree.
And he's got Reece James overlapping on the right hand side as well. So they're
Yeah.
going to be a threat. They're going to be a threat on the
They
right.
are going to be a threat.
I think having Reece James overlapping is gonna ask a lot of his fitness, and
It's going
It's gonna
to
challenge him,
Malo
for
Gusto
sure.
as well. Malo Gusto as well.
I don't rate Malo Gusto at all.
He scored in the weekend.
At all.
I
No, I know
don't
he
think he's
scored.
good at all.
That's fair.
Like he's a good option, pal.
But here's the thing. Chelsea are in this position right now, and we know that their biggest weakness has been partially attack, but defensively, right? And they're doing this with Sanchez in net, who's actually been a lot better than
Yeah, he's improved.
than how he's been talked about. But then even the amount of injuries that they've had defensively, I think, and I agree with Conway when he says they're a team to worry about, to be concerned with, because they could, I mean, their fan base won't move under the radar. They're quick to talk up, but they get healthy again. You get Cole Palmer, and you talk about that midfield. They do have they have a midfield that can deal with anything, in my opinion. You want to go physical, they got it. You want to go skill, they got it. You want to go like direct, they have that option as well. We'll see what Maresca does. I think our agenda points where we can maybe apply some pressure is they have been questioning Maresca during the little spell of poor performance. When it comes down to When it comes down to how are they going to remain consistent with regards to their defense or even the weak point with regards to Sanchez, maybe it's just a matter of time. It hasn't been happening as consistently, but maybe it's just a matter of time.
Do you know what about Chelsea as well? Yeah, their next
Yeah.
home fixture, Chelsea's next home fixture is against Arsenal.
Oh,
So the next
A
time,
draw.
so Chelsea's next home fixture is against Arsenal. I'm very intrigued as to how Chelsea are going to set up and how they're going to play. If they get anything out of that game, it just emphasizes my point on how Chelsea are going to be a threat.
oh, this is great. You know what? Conway brought up a good point, Spartacus. I think moving forward, what we'll look to do is we'll always look at the next 1 or 2 fixtures as we talk about our threats. We've got an international break, so it's okay that we didn't do this time around. But the fact that Conway brought up, when they come back from international break, they get a gift. They play away to Burnley. That's a gift. Let's be real. But it's a short turnaround because then they're going to be at home hosting Barcelona. That's a game that I think hopefully there's no conflict. We can all watch. We can see. We can assess how good Barca is. We can also assess how good Chelsea are playing in the UCL. And like Conway mentioned, after that, 5 days later, they're going to be hosting Arsenal. So that's a good chunk. They get the gift in Burnley. We see what they do versus Barca. We see what they do versus
I think
Arsenal.
Chelsea beat Barcelona, by the way, but we'll see on that.
I think they do as well. Pedri is now injured, I think, for 6 months. So that's a big blow for Barca.
That's tough. Barca's been humbled. They've been humbled. We don't deal with any type of CIA with regards to UCL. Maybe that'll happen when we get further in the UCL on who we're playing. But yeah, Barcelona's had a very poor run as of late. Yeah,
They're getting demolished by injuries. I think the Hansi Flick intensity is catching up to the players.
Let me go to the comments real quick. So Tavern remind, and we were right. They lost to Sunderland. Talking about Chelsea, also says Chelsea have too many players to even get any consistent run. Yeah, I hear you. They don't have the luxury of playing kind of like their third line or whatever in the Europa Conference like they did last season. But yeah, they've got some struggles. Maresca he's under pressure. He's under pressure because we know from the Chelsea fan base, they got no patience. They're very quick, short-tempered. Now, we spoke about us with tremendous pride with what we were able to do versus Liverpool. I'm just going to highlight something real quick when we look at these next 2 teams. We look at our team. So 11 games played, 7 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. The 3 losses do hurt. I can't lie. I hate that the Spurs loss is so like clockwork. The Brighton game was disappointing because I felt in spells we played good enough to have won that game, but we let that get away from us. And then that 1-0 to Aston Villa was yuck. But the fact that we gave up the 3 losses pretty early, I'm not too upset about when we look at how other teams are playing around us, and then we look at who we're kind of chasing, right? We've scored 23 goals. We're the best attack in the league. We're accustomed to that, right? Spartacus, Conway, they're accustomed to always being nice offensively. So that's kind of chill. Goals against, I think, is where I think it's a very pleasant surprise. I think that's a very pleasant surprise to be like, what? Single digits in goals against. Everyone's kind of hyping up the team that's leading the league right now with how defensively sound they are. Like, I think we're getting into the right places defensively. We got the right mentality. And then when we look at us currently, 4 points off the leaders in Arsenal. Now, I'd be surprised. Neither of you are going to say we shouldn't be concerned with Arsenal, are you?
Yes.
We should be, or we shouldn't be concerned?
We shouldn't be.
Oh my gosh.
I think we
Spartacus,
win. I don't think there's going to be a title race this season.
Spartacus, what are you doing? Spartacus?
Hey,
I think
we beat Liverpool, but Spartacus hyped. I hear it.
No, I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. The thing for me with Arsenal, and this season just made me double down on this, is that they're very good defensively, but at the expense of their attacking abilities. So they're going to draw a lot of games because they're going to keep 1-0 leads, 1-goal leads in general. So they're going to end up losing or drawing too many games.
Okay.
You don't think
I
that's
just,
gonna Spartacus? You don't think that's gonna change when Odegaard and Havertz and these guys
no,
come back?
no, because I don't think the Arteta is gonna give up the double pivot and the two centre backs at fullbacks is thingy.
But what about the option of subbing on more attacking players? Because they're out. They don't have Verts. They don't have Jesus. They don't have. Um,
You mean Odegaard, by the way, innit?
Oh, they got
they
not
don't have
Oh, they got
Odegaard either. Madueke they don't have. Did I mention Havertz? Like they've got
yeah.
attacking
Even
options.
Gilchrist is injured right now.
There we go. So I think it's maybe not so much of a quality, but the fact that they can tirelessly bring on another body to go in and attack.
Let's deep that then for a second. So the wingers, they can only play two at a time. So them coming back is just going to be rotation for the sake of rotation. Odegaard could make a difference if he actually trusted one.
I think
pivot
Odegaard
alone
makes
to
it.
play.
Spartacus, Saka's not having a good season so far. Like he's
Yeah.
had moments, but he hasn't been Saka, right? I think Odegaard helps with that. Oh, bless
think
up,
so
large
as well.
up. Let me do this real quick. I got
Cool.
Casually FC in the building. Casually, whatever we may be, we are the. Oh my gosh, this guy. Obviously, he's a Chelsea fan. Bless, good looking out. He hit me up with a raid. Each and every one of you, thank you so very much. New to Vatorgames TV. I got my panel member Conway. I got Spartacus doing his debut, killing it. Be a part of the show. Be in the comments. We talked Chelsea earlier. We did consider Chelsea to be threats. I'm going to say we because of the majority of the panel consider Chelsea to be threats. And we're going to be keeping an eye. We're going to be keeping an eye on how you guys manage these upcoming games. You got a gift in Burnley. Barca's going to be a good test. And then all eyes will be watching the London turf war that's going to be happening between Chelsea and Arsenal.
No, but you see with Arsenal over there, yeah, their next three games is Spurs, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea.
Oh,
I think they're gonna get demolished by Bayern Munich.
Oh
Proper.
my gosh. Oh
Two-
my gosh.
No Luis
I
Diaz,
think
no Luis
3-4.
Diaz.
Doesn't matter. I think 3-4-0.
Okay. Wait.
You know that's how the Emirates
Spartacus.
go, innit? You know that's
I
how the
know.
Emirates go.
I know. I think Bayern Munich is the best side in the planet at the moment, and it isn't even close. The way they're playing, the way they move the ball, the way they find space and create space.
You think they're gonna lose? You think they're gonna lose 4-0 at home at the Emirates?
Yeah. I think Bayern is just by a mile the best side in the planet at the moment.
I agree. They've been the best team in Europe, but 4-0 was crazy.
I think
They
just
have been the
good.
best. They have been the best. And listen, they have been the best with who? With
Vinny.
who?
Vinny.
Vinny
Big Vinny,
company in the building. Listen, Vinny doing his thing. Every time I see a little tweet with regards to never done before or first to do or whatever, I just hit it up with a couple eye emojis. I'm watching, Vinny. Listen, I like what you're doing
they haven't
over
lost
there.
a single game this season, man. Big up company.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. But Conway brought up a good point with regards to the upcoming fixtures. So Arsenal, they got the North London derby. Okay, they do that coming international break, and then 3 days later, because we know that's going to be an intense game. 3 days later, and this schedule, I'm not going to lie, this schedule is vicious for Arsenal. This schedule is vicious for Arsenal coming back from international break. So they're going to be playing the North London derby on the 23rd. 3 days later, they play Bayern at home. That's going to be an important game. Now, 4 days later, I don't know if Marshall, Casually FC, is still in the building. But 4 days later, November 30th, they play Chelsea away. I'm looking at that run of 3 games, and I'm in agreement with Conway and Spartacus. This is like, all right, show and prove. Show and prove what you're all about. Bless up each and every one of you in the chat. Hit that like button, please. You can be a part of the show with the comments. We are Citeh Intelligent Agendas. We look at Game Week 11, right? Game Week 11, we assess what we're seeing from the ops. We look at what we're seeing from the ops. We're looking who are threats. We haven't dismissed Liverpool despite dismissing them today in the game, right? And we looked at United and said, United, top 4 fight. We're not concerned about that. Aston Villa, top 4. Unai Emery, top 4 fight. Not concerned. Spurs, we're only concerned about when we play them because they're our bogey team, but top 4 fight. A few of us disagree with where Sunderland's going to be. But the majority think that Chelsea are going to be in the mix. And now we're talking about Arsenal. And Arsenal have that tough series of fixtures. I think there's a loss of momentum, right? They drop points going into this international break, drawing to Sunderland. No shame in that, right? Chelsea fans, no shame in drawing to Sunderland. But the momentum now, it's going to be interesting on who bounces back and who comes back from this international break with winning ways again. Casually FC goes, Sunderland have given the league hope to get a result, Spurs included. It's true. See what Spurs do after the international break, and we see what you guys do when you face them. Who are the players to really be worried's not the word. Who are the players to see as threats? Who are the threatening players over at Arsenal with regards to, you know what? If they challenge for a long time, it's because of these players. On your short list, give me two, Spartacus, two key players over at Arsenal that you're like, you know what? They continue their winning ways. It's going to be because of these two players. Who do you want to mention? Oh, you're on mute if you're speaking.
I think it has to be Saka and Gabriel.
Saka and Gabriel. Okay. Would you say that those are the two players on why they're having success right now, or would you say
Yep.
those two? Okay.
Even if Saka is not playing well at the moment, which he isn't, his set-piece delivery is just making them competitive.
See, I disagree with that one, but I'll wait. I want to hear what Conway has to say.
Yeah, I'd say two players for me. One is Zubimendi, and the other one would be Gabriel.
Okay. You guys both are consistent with Gabriel. One Saka. Casually FC, he actually in the chat goes Saka and Rice. I happen to disagree with that one, but partially. I think it's Rice and Gabriel for me. I think as Spartacus mentioned in terms of delivery, the corner delivery, we know that Rice is on that other side. We got Saka and we got Rice. What Rice has been doing in that midfield, I know he's not the best on the eye, but what he's been doing in that midfield and what Gabriel have been doing, those are the two players that I'm like, if Arsenal have any little nagging type out for a couple games injury to either of those two players, I think it's long. I think it's really long to what Arteta wants to do. Arteta's Arsenal without a Rice, Arteta's Arsenal without a Gabriel. I think they're worried. I think they're worried about results with that.
I think if they lose Rice, maybe that could be. This might sound strange, but hear me out. I think if he gets an injury on Rice, it could actually be a blessing in disguise for the long term, because it might actually force him to play a more attacking midfield and force him to dish the double pivot situation with Rice and Zubimendi.
No, I'm challenging you on this one, and this is why I love this conversation. So if he maybe falls into not having Rice on that pitch, Rice is healthy. You think he makes Rice do the Zubimendi role, or he doesn't have Rice on that pitch?
I think at times not have Rice on the pitch.
You're crazy. Spartacus is drinking, guys.
I did drink a little bit.
But
yes.
He does have a point over here. He does have a point.
Conway? All right.
Drink.
Okay, strengthen the point, because I'm not seeing it. I don't see him dropping 100 million. This is CIA. We got the agendas over here. I don't see him dropping 100 million Rice. But go ahead. Let me hear it.
No, because you can go with the obviously when Odegaard's back, you can go with the Zubimendi as a 6, Odegaard as your 8, and Eze as your 10. That just gives you more influence in the attack.
I don't think you need Rice for every game. A big game against the City, against the Liverpool, against the Madrid, against those type of the sides. Yes, you need Rice, but against Sunderland away, against a Bournemouth, against a
Burnley at home.
At home.
Okay, I'm hearing you guys out. So in a game where the control is probably expected, that Arsenal are going to have it. They're not too concerned from a midfield battle, is what you're saying. Yep. Rice could be dropped with a more attacking midfield. Now, those of you in the chat, do you, and again, Casually FC brings up, no Rice for set pieces. You're only going to be relying on, and maybe I guess you stumble upon someone else that might do the delivery on the other side. Is maybe what you're saying?
Yeah.
as
No,
far as
the
Saka
one thing about
can-
Rice though, he's the best set piece taker at Arsenal.
yeah,
I would give it to him. He's the best set piece taker at Arsenal.
agree.
Like his delivery is impeccable.
I agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree
but
with that.
if you have more creativity from open play, do you need to rely as much on the set piece?
But this is Arsenal's DNA right now. Set pieces.
Yeah,
It's a
and I
whole
think this is
brand.
an issue. I think this is an issue. I don't
I
think
do-
that the Premier League are going to allow what they do in set pieces to go unpunished for much longer. I don't think, because right now it's becoming ridiculous. It's not only Arsenal doing it anymore.
Mm.
Everybody's starting to do this thing where they just surround the goalkeeper with as many bodies as possible to not allow them to do anything and just cross the ball in, and that's just not football.
The thing that's crazy is, and we saw a glimpse of this a couple seasons ago where they would obviously crowd. You can do this on EAFC, you can set piece for corners. You can do crowd the keeper, but you see this where they're just trying to limit the access that the keeper can to actually get to the ball. So there's gonna be some ways that defenses are gonna fix around it. But what I find interesting is, and I had to put the comment on screen because Casual FC goes no Rice, no Gabriel goals because of the set piece. It's like a yin and yang. One domino falls to the next. I think it's going to be interesting with how much Rice plays and when he does get dropped for rotation, not dropped because he's playing poorly. And this more attacking midfield. When you guys brought up the point that maybe why Arsenal struggle offensively is because of how set they are mentally with regards to how they want to defend. It's hard to live in both minds. But it'd be interesting to see if they do get more attacking, if they're still also able to be defensive. And I don't think you can. I don't think you can be that defensive and still have that attacking free flowing. Now, maybe you can get into a final third, keep them under pressure, and have certain ways that you want to attack. But in terms of the open play, open goals like that, I don't see it happening. I wanted to put up this comment because it made me laugh. Dre P goes, man playing Rice even in charity matches. Yeah, Arteta ain't dropping Rice. I heard what Spartacus was saying. I also see the advantage that Conway kind of agreed to with in terms of personnel, how Arsenal could go about it. But when we think about the pressure that these managers are on, when we think about even the egos that they got to manage, Rice, 100 million, 105 million, he ain't getting dropped. He ain't getting dropped. Quick question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is where I've said, like, maybe if he gets an injury that he's out for like 2-3 months, and
he stumbles.
He's being forced into playing a more attacking side.
I hear
he
you.
Realizes.
But what you said is he stumbles upon it and he sees it. I don't think that when healthy, I don't think it changes. That's just it. When Rice is back healthy, I think Rice gets first name on that team sheet. He's back in it, type thing. I want to say that. Yeah, I want to put up this question that Dre P goes. He goes, question for the panel: do City need to improve set pieces to win the league?
100%, 100%. Because you know when you mentioned Villa that we've scored the most goals in the Premier League, yeah, those are all open play goals.
I know we've only scored one set piece.
I don't think we've scored. If we have scored a set piece, it's probably one set piece goal that we've scored. But we got a new set piece guy called James French. We got him from Liverpool. I think we were applauding him in the Club World Cup because we scored a couple set piece goals during that tournament.
Keep talking. I got to take this call. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But I think since the Premier League season started, from a set piece standpoint, we haven't seen us score or be threatening in that regard. Whether it's a free kick or a corner, us scoring from a set piece has somewhat proven to be difficult for us this season, and I don't get it. But if we can manage to add that to the number of goals that we score from open play, then I feel like that just strengthens our position in terms of trying to compete for this league or being top of the league.
I think our issue with the set pieces right now is not actually the delivery; it's more of the finishing in it. I think a lot of our players are just just making those weak headers where you just cushion the ball back to the goalkeeper. They're not attacking the ball with as much power as they should be, because the ball is getting into dangerous situations. They're just not attacking it well.
No, but from a delivery standpoint, I know Foden takes our corners. I see sometimes Cherky take our corners. I think we should be able to work on our delivery as well. because I think those guys. I know Foden does sometimes. He does put in a good cross, even Cherky as well. But I feel like it's not enough because they'll put in a good cross in a particular game, and then the next 2-3 crosses that they put in, whether it be from a free kick or a corner, it's not a good delivery. And I feel like that just gives us a disadvantage to try and score from that set piece. I think we need to work on that. I don't think our delivery is pinpoint. It's somewhat okay, but we can be better at that. We can definitely be better at that. But it's gonna come with time, though, man. It's gonna come with time. Hopefully after the international break.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I see the comment JP put. He says, I noticed Cherky taking set pieces today instead of Foden. But yeah, whenever Cherky's on the pitch, I think he's probably the guy that's going to be taking the set pieces for us. Even when we had that free kick where Foden hit the wall, that was literally just before Cherky got subbed off. And I was hoping Pep didn't sub off Cherky at that point to bring Sabio on, because I wanted Cherky to take the free kick. He could have scored one when we played against, who was it, Dortmund or Bournemouth?
Dortmund.
Yeah, against Dortmund when he had that free kick opportunity, the goalkeeper saved it.
No, actually, Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth. Yeah, it was Bournemouth. But I think whenever we do have a set piece when it's on the edge of the box, I think the number one guy that we should be looking at is either Marmoush or Cherky.
I agree. Now, I hear you with regards to set pieces in terms of, I think we should be more threatening. Do we need more goals from set pieces? It's one of those, like, if it happens, it happens. But I would like us to be a lot more threatening, something that's more systematic, where we it's James French, right? Our set piece coach.
Yeah, James French. Yeah.
Like, I just want him to look at who we're playing. What do they tend to do? Do they zone mark? How do they? Let's just implement something that takes advantage of what they do. And
you know what it is, there? Yeah, just quick point. You know, there's going to be times where we come up against a nasty low block from Everton or Wolves, and we're going to find it so hard to break them down. So you'll get a corner or a free kick, and that's probably going to be your only opportunity to try and get a goal. We scumbagged the win last season away from Wolves when John Stones scored a last minute from a corner. We literally scumbagged that, and then the game ended 2-1. So there's going to be occasions where you need a goal from a set piece to try and see if you can get 3 points at the end. You need these set pieces to go.
That's fair. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're probably better suited to play it short and to whip in across than some of the direct crosses that we do. But I need to see a little more. Now, with regards to the comments as well, if Holland scores from a set piece, I'm chalking that up as a set piece goal. I'm not saying we're going to be overly reliant if Holland happens to score from a set piece. It just look how dominant of a body is on that pitch. From a CIA standpoint, this show is going to be weekly, guys. It's going to be weekly. I'm going to find the right timing. If talking to Conway, talking to Spartacus, if it's around 11 UK time, messing around that, I'm gonna make that work. But I enjoy having the show with regards to panel members, because I got my takes wrong, right, and I like the back and forth and changing my mind with some of the things I hear from these guys. I'll continue to share the link with other City fans, and I'm looking to do a special. I'm going to do a special CIA over the international break, because obviously we talked about game week 11, but there's not going to be anything happening for a while now. So maybe we do what I'm going to call interrogation. There's going to be a CIA interrogation, and one lucky rival will get a chance to be on the panel show, and we're going to have a civil combo about each of our clubs. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice, calm, no yelling, no 6v1 arguments or anything like that. We're just going to talk, get some things that we admire about each other's clubs, what we find threatening about each other's clubs, and have that combo. I'm going to call it something CIA interrogations or something like that. But I want to thank Conway. I want to thank Spartacus's debut, playing like a veteran. Conway, I got no worries. Conway subbed on late or starting, I got no issues with what Conway delivers. Spartacus, excellent as well. Good looking out. I've always enjoyed the convos we've had on Twitter X Spaces.
Yep.
You guys want to mention anything you might have going on? I see on Twitter X that there's a city space, so I might chime in and see what those guys are saying.
No, not really.
I'll probably do the same.
Yeah. I'm gonna chill for the international break. It's so the best thing about international break is when you're going into it after a win. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So
Facts.
you can just know that it's happy days. You're chilling, and then you know what we'll see. But the good thing is this is the last international break I think until March.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good, man. But apart from that, good show, man. Thanks for having me on again, VR. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Bless. Thank you guys for blessing me with the show. Everyone in the comments, you guys were part of the show as well, and I appreciate your comments. I brought those forward that were in the flow, and obviously I read the ones as well, and it's there for us to revisit. If you watching on the replay, thank you. Drop a like as well. Subscribe if you haven't. The raid from Casually FC Chelsea, my blue brother. Every time we're gonna link up. Monday's gonna be fun. Marshall, Monday is gonna be fun. So check us out on American Waffle Staffy TV. But bless each and every one of you. Thank you. Do I have an outro for this? Let me do I'm gonna do the outro for what I do for 115. That's one question, 15 minutes. Enjoy this.